Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog. So let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all. All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It was like you could hear it all throughout the store. This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, first story up, Kim Zolciak Bierman. Now, we already knew that Kim had some addiction issues. Croy has been trying to explain to us for the last few years that Kim went and stole all the money. They've lost the house. They have lost their jobs. You know, she doesn't have a show to be on. He's retired, but, you know, I'm sure his pension is not covering all of the problems that they had. They had that expensive ass house. They had these expensive ass cars. They said that Kim was over there, you know, she's living outside of her means and, you know, trying to act like she has all this money. And come to find out, no, not only do they not have no money, but the kids ain't got no damn money no more either. Okay, and we know that because Ariana, I was gonna call her Ariana Grande. Ariana Bierman, Kim's daughter. Remember, we used to see her on Real Housewives of Atlanta when Kim was with Big Papa, you know, and she had her 2 older daughters. These are not Croy's kids. He adopted them, I believe, but these are not his actual kids. Okay, they're not his. What is the word? Y'all know what I'm talking about. So, you know, those kids were all in the spotlight along with Kim and Croy on the show. And so the kids also got to have a following and, you know, had a presence on social media and everything. So Ariana said that when she was about 14, that's when she started working. She had brand deals. You know, she had all these sponsored posts and all these things, and she made a whole bunch of money. And she just assumed that her parents were taking care of her financial part, at least, you know, probably back in the day, she assumed that. I'm sure she probably knew as time went on that if the mama and the daddy is complaining about having no money, that probably means that her money was gone too. But back then I guess she thought she was creating this nest egg or whatever, and then come to find out, money is gone. And how do we know that? Because she's on that show, The Next Gen NYC, which is the show that has the next generation of Bravo celebrity stars kids. Okay, so Riley is on there. We've got Ariana. We've got some other kids from the other Real Housewives shows, or maybe the other Bravo shows. I'm not sure if it's just Real Housewives or if it's just other Bravo shows. And she was on there. The show premiered the other day. I didn't even realize the show was on. I'm gonna keep on biting the same area. I have to take this retainer off because it's starting to hurt my tongue. Because I'm supposed to wear it at night, but I'm wearing it during the day because I need this tooth to get back right. But the show the show premiered, and she's sitting down. She's talking to a guy. I'm assuming maybe that's her boyfriend or her partner or whatever. And she's telling them how, yeah, her mom stole all the money. She thought that she had this money, and, you know, she thought she was building the money since she was 14. And I'm assuming she's somewhere around 24, 25, you know, the same age area as Riley. And, yeah, the money's gone. But she helps take care of her mother still. She gives the mother money, you know, and the mom still ain't paying the bills and doing the shit that she needs to. So the boyfriend was trying to tell her that she needs to stop taking care of her mother. And, you know, it's hard. That is hard. I mean, yes, we know logically, yes, you need to stop doing that because obviously she is not paying the money to where it needs to be going. But, you know, it's hard to tell a child not to take care of their mother because she knows that she has younger siblings there that still, you know, they need help as well. They ain't chose to be there. So she's trying to help out the parents or whatever. But she gonna have to do something maybe a little different. Maybe instead of giving the money to Kim or to Croy, maybe going directly to these places and paying it, at least knowing that that is being done. But the guy is just like, why you keep giving her money for her to just gamble it away or do whatever she's doing with it, you know? So Kim definitely got addiction issues. I don't know if it's gambling, drugs, drinking, something else, or maybe a combination of all of that. But yeah, just too bad. It's also too bad that this show even exist, and that it is, I'm sorry, I'm distracted, that the show even exists. So much going on in front of my car right now, that the show even exists, because, you know, it's like the kids are going to be on there, and if they have a bad relationship with their parents, now they are exposing that, and now these parents are going to be getting this extra criticism that maybe they don't really need, you know. So there's that as well. I mean, they're tearing Kim apart in the comments, and yeah, rightfully so. I mean, you know, Kim just don't seem like she's a good person. I know that she might have some addiction issues too, but Kim just don't seem like she's a good person. She seems like she is self-absorbed. She seems narcissistic. She seems like, you know, as long as she got the money to do what she want to do, which is make sure she has her hair and make sure she has all her rich, you know, her rich people things, you know, then fuck everything else. And, you know, it's just it's too bad that that show is on, you know, and it's exposing people like that. But I guess if you didn't do the shit to begin with, you know, folks wouldn't have nothing to say about it. So I guess there's that. I mean, and it is Ariana's truth. I don't know what her relationship is with her mom still. Like, does she get along with her, you know? Or is there some animosity there? I mean, of course it would be animosity if it was me, because baby, where is my money? Yeah, it's a whole bunch of chaos over there too, you guys. Anyway, that's enough on that. Y'all been watching the Next Gen? You guys have to let me know how the show is. No, I'm not reviewing it. Okay, next story. All right, Klarna. Remember I was telling y'all about the issues with Klarna last week, right? Okay, well, or not last week, a couple of weeks ago. Well, now Klarna has turned around and filed bankruptcy. I was like, y'all gonna fuck up the thing, child. Y'all fucking it up. But actually, they reported a net loss of $99 million in their first quarter of 2025. Okay, $99 million is a whole bunch of money. All right, they paused their IPO because they said that the market was too volatile. But there is good news. They're saying that they're not shutting down and that they remain financially healthy. They say that they have a $10.4 billion cash reserve. Okay, so, you know, the company is expected to pull through fine. It's just that right now with everything else being so topsy-turvy with the new junk drawer, WhatsApp and all of that, you know, also, there's that trickle down I was telling you guys about. You know what? They've been affected with all this going on too. Okay. They say they have a stable BBB rating, a stable Better Business Bureau rating. So yeah, they're not about to go out of business or anything like that. So Klarna says that they have over 100 million people who participate in their Afterpay program, and that they have 724,000 merchants worldwide that all also call you back, Deborah, that will also, you know, support that their company is doing well. They said actually that there's been a lot of misinformation on social media, and that has been also a reason why their company has suffered, because, you know, people don't really trust the program. They don't really know how it works. I mean, I felt like everybody knows at this point, but they felt like, you know, people were starting to not trust Klarna because of people talking about it and giving the misinformation on social media. But they're saying, oh no, we fine. But anyway, you guys, yeah, we gonna make sure, we want to make sure that we don't mess up the Klarna situation. Okay, let's not mess it up. Just be a little bit more responsible, you guys, and let's keep this going. All right, next story. All right, you guys, next story. I'm gonna tell you this cute little story about Apollo. Did you guys see the video that he made yesterday with his long lost son? We didn't know that it was his son at the beginning of the video, but by the time they finished, we found out that Apollo had found out that he had a child, an older child. This kid looks like he's probably in his 30s or like late 20s. He found out that he had a kid. While he was in jail, somebody had reached out to his Instagram, and his management had been monitoring his Instagram, he said, and in the DMs they said, like, I think you might be my dad. So those people let Apollo know, And long story short, Apollo's mom went and took the DNA test for the son, since Apollo, for the potential son, since Apollo was in jail, and there was a match, and he was able to find out that he actually had a kid. This kid's like I said, grown. And Apollo said he always felt like he might have had somebody out there. He just never knew, but he remembered the guy's mother. And like now it looks like they have a relationship, because at the end of the video, they said that they loved each other and everything, and they looked like they had a good relationship. And even though there's a lot of things about Apollo that we don't like, I still was really touched by that story. I was like, oh, that is really cute. And I really thought it was great that, Apollo and his son was able to bridge this relationship that neither one of them knew about, and yeah, they looked exactly alike. Like have you ever seen like somebody that looks exactly like somebody else, and you just be thinking to yourself, like, they gotta be related, and then they're not? Well, that was different for them. They actually look alike, and it turns out that they actually are father and son. So I thought it was a cute story, and I was a little touched for old Apollo. Okay, he lost his wife, but he gained a son. Ain't God good? Next story. Now, this story is pretty sad. Brian McKnight. Let me tell you, I ain't never really hated nobody as much. I've never hated somebody that I don't know, I should say, as much as I shouldn't even say hate, but I'm telling you guys, I extremely dislike Brian McKnight. It is an unreasonable type of dislike. Every time I see that man's face, every time I hear his voice has the ability to carry along this every time I hear him talk, it's always this whole uppity kind of like, oh, well, I had to leave them alone because they come from sin, and now he has to, it's always this pompous, arrogant, I'm so good, I can't deal. I mean, it's just, I cannot stand Brian McKnight. And it happened when we found out that him and his relationship with his kids was dead. It was dead on arrival, child. It is over and done. And, we know that Brian McKnight got a divorce from his wife, and then he remarried. He married an Asian lady, and, he's created another family with this woman, and he has decided that he has nothing to do with his first family. I don't know what happened in their relationship or whatever. Yes, I do know that, it takes two to tango. So where he probably was having his issues, maybe the wife could have had her issues too. Okay. I'm not even saying none of that. I'm just saying that Brian McKnight's attitude and the way that he just is so, Child, I'm telling you, when we found out that his son Niko had passed, I was saddened, because I knew that their relationship was not, that they hadn't been able to fix it. And I was just like, that is too bad. This kid had to die, and him and his father probably still hadn't seen eye to eye, but I was hoping that they had fixed it, but I had a feeling that they hadn't. So, nobody really said anything. We had got the word that he had passed, but, Brian McKnight hadn't posted nothing. I hadn't seen anything his wife had posted. I don't follow none of them. So it didn't show up on the blogs, is what I'm saying. But we did end up seeing a video of one of the brothers of Brian McKnight. Now, you guys know Brian McKnight's brothers are from Takes. He had a brother or two, or like a brother and a cousin, or some cousins and a brother. I know he had at least one brother in Take 6. I don't think that this was that brother. It wasn't that brother, because that brother was tall and dark, and this guy, even though he was older, like, I don't know, but that wasn't him. But anyway, this was another brother. I'm not sure if this is one that was in a group too. I couldn't quite remember, but anyway, the brother was just saying, that he knew that his nephew had died. At first, he wasn't going to say anything because of all of the turmoil that the family has gone through, but he decided that he would say something. But all he said was, I know the family's been going through it. He was like, I don't really want to be involved in, the sides. He said, I know that, it's this side has their side, and that person has their side, and then somewhere in the middle is the truth. Okay. But he just was like, I just knew I couldn't let this day go by without at least acknowledging that his nephew had died, and, that the family was feeling it, and this and that and the other. And, he didn't say nothing. He didn't say nothing untoward. He didn't say nothing against Brian McKnight. He didn't say nothing bad about Brian's family. He didn't say nothing. All he said was, child, please tell me why Brian McKnight, a couple of days later, he finally decides to post this video of like the sea or some shit. And the nigga gonna say that his brother poked his nose in business that did not belong to him, and that, you know, he shouldn't even have been speaking on it. And I was like, the man only said that his nephew had died. Okay? But Brian McKnight then goes on to say that, yes, he knew that his son was sick and that him and his wife had offered, you know, the best oncologist, that his son, all his son had to do was come to them and get the treatment there at his house. And first of all, like, who treats cancer at the house? I don't even know what he's talking about. But he was making it seem like the only way that he was going to be involved to help the son was that if the son came there. He said that the son and the mom decided that they did not want his help. Okay? And so Brian McKnight's whole tone, though, was just sort of like, oh, well, like, we tried to help him. He didn't want no help, so that's why he dead now. That's what he might as well have said. That shit was fucked up. And I was just like, what is wrong with Brian McKnight? You know? And, you know, for him to keep on saying, well, you know, God knows best, and that's what. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? If God knows best, then keep it between you and God and leave us out of it. Okay? Because we sick of you. We don't give a damn at this point. Like, we said that you an asshole. You a jerk. You let your son die and you didn't try to repair that relationship. Okay? Or maybe he did. Maybe he did. I don't know if he did or didn't. But the son is not here any longer, and Brian still has the same attitude. So that leads me to believe that he, you know, did not try. Because it seems like he would have said, like, you know, I did finally speak to my son. And I did, you know, we still didn't agree on some things, but I did. He didn't say nothing like that. So that leads me to believe that this man he let that boy die and did not try to. What is wrong? Who does that? That Brian is evil. And, yeah, if God knows something else, then you know what? Then God can handle it. But as far as we concerned, I fuck Brian McKnight. I had his music in my wedding. I done been to plenty other weddings and been in weddings that they use this music, and this nigga get up there and do this. I have never been so disappointed in any of my faves. Brian used to be my fave. I used to love Brian McKnight. Oh, I cannot believe it. Anyway, yeah, he's disgusting. He's disgusting. Okay? But rest in peace to Niko. I mean, this should have been a tribute more to Niko, but I don't really know much about the young man. I just know that they say that he was a talented singer. They said that he had a beautiful voice just like his dad, that he did have that blessing and that gift. But yeah, you guys, just a terrible story. Awful story. Rest in peace to Niko McKnight. Oh, lastly, is this DDG and Halle. Is that her name? Halle Bailey? I always fuck her name up, y'all know. I don't really want to speak on the DDG and Halle because I have some strong opinions, and I know that they're not going to agree with a lot of people. And I don't feel like fighting with y'all in these damn comments. Okay? I don't feel like nobody getting in here and saying a whole bunch of shit to me that's going to offend me. Y'all, my anxiety, the level has been out of this world and astronomical. Okay? So I don't need any of that extra in my life. All I will say is that the both of them got issues over there. And that I feel sorry for that kid because they are definitely in this tug of war with that kid. But DDG has his problems, but honey, Halle, whatever it is, has her issues too. Everybody is a little messed up over there. Okay? It looks like Dee has done the things that he's done, but it looks like Halle has done some things that she's done as well. I know people will get on here and say, well, hers is a reaction to him. Okay, maybe that's true, but maybe it's not. Maybe it would have been, maybe it could be the other way around. All right, and I don't even feel like getting involved. All I'm saying is I hope for everybody's sake that the baby is gonna be okay. Okay, and that these two can finally come to agree on the shit that they need to agree on. All right, but yeah, he tried to get a restraining order. He released all these text messages. I just said I wasn't gonna really talk about it. Well, I'm not giving you guys my opinion. I'm just gonna tell you the story. He released all these text messages of, you know, Halle trying to harm herself, her threatening to kill herself, taking his gun, this and that. You know, she's upset that he slept with this girl when he was on vacation. The girl says that they did not sleep together, that she had already spoken to Halle, that they had already had a conversation, and Halle knew that it hadn't happened. However, you know, these text messages say something else and all this. Okay, so he released those in the hopes that he would be able to stop the baby from, you know, going to London or wherever she's going for the next 2 months to film this movie. But I think he was able to get the restraining order. However, he was not able to stop her from taking the baby. So the baby is going to be gone for 2 months. Now his family is involved. His mother is involved and saying, you know, how irrational Halle has been. And then, of course, we have Halle's side, and, you know, everybody saying that he drove her to this and that and the other. And I am, like I said, I'm gonna stay out of it. Okay, y'all tell me what you think. But what I will say is I feel sorry for that kid. Hopefully they get everything situated, because that's the most important part, is making sure that that kid is okay. Other than that, child, that's that. Y'all put whatever you want about it down there in the comments, okay? But I'm just gonna reserve. Child, both of them I ain't got to ever see again, really, honestly. Halle and DDG. All right? All right. All right, you guys, that's it. I got to get on back in here, okay? We do this every single week, so make sure you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back.